YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with a post-Senior Bowl 2-round NFL mock draft. Senior Bowl just finished up this weekend. We had a whole week of practice and obviously the game. Recent video, we had our stock report based on the Senior Bowl, whose stock went up, where they might fall to in the draft, and whose stock went down. Now we got the updated mock, and I made it 2 rounds, our first 2-rounder of the offseason, so I'm really excited about this with all these different updates and players moving up the board. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full NFL draft, full NFL coverage in general. We got you covered for free agency around the corner. A lot of trades will go down, so we got you covered for all that, especially on our Twitter as well. Live updates. Patreon has some bonus offseason content. Any link you're looking for down below. Important ones pinned in the comments. Here's our Twitter. A lot of updates, a lot of coaching updates going on right now, rumors. So check it out. Let's head to the 2-round mock draft. Start with the first 8 picks. Jaguars, Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle from NC State, is who I have going to the Jags. It could be Evan Neal. A lot of people mocking that. This definitely could be a trade back. We usually get to mock with trades. Maybe the next one. It's a little tricky to predict trades, but the next one we'll kind of get an idea of which teams I think could trade up and down. But yeah, Ekwonu, they just hired Doug Peterson. This seems like maybe a little bit better fit, maybe more to Ekwonu's game here. Some people think he could play guard. I think it's a bonus that, you can move him to guard if you need to. But I definitely think he's a tackle. So I do like that pick for the Jags, but I'll probably mention this every time, and I have been, and we're going to see what they decide with Cam Robinson at their left tackle position for free agency, and we'll see what they decide in terms of trading back or staying put. They may not even go tackle if they stay put. They may go edge rusher. Lions go Aidan Hutchison. Had this last time. Going to roll with it. They need more pass rush help. I think it's probably too early for a quarterback here, but with starting to enter the discussion, can a quarterback go this high? Maybe a little early, but can't really rule it out. But they get a top-tier pass rush prospect here at Hutchison. Texans go Kyle Hamilton, really back and forth between Hamilton or Thibodeaux from Oregon. One Hamilton, it sounds like, as I went to record this, that Lovie Smith's about to get the Texans job, who was the defensive coordinator last year. Didn't really feel like they liked the safeties they had. Already reports that Justin Reed, they'll probably move on from him. He's a free agent. Hamilton, rare safety prospect, a guy that could fit Lovie Smith's Tampa 2 scheme there, so I think they'll like him a lot. So it's just really a rare type of safety prospect. So I think they'll pull the trigger there. And the pass rush group in this class seems to be pretty deep. And the Jets can't really pass on Kayvon Thibodeaux there. Pair him with Carl Lawson for the future. Looking pretty good. Robert Saleh's defense really coming together. Just too good to pass on. Maybe not the biggest need, but just too good to pass on. Giants go Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama. Like I said, he can go 1. If he doesn't, it's possible he goes 3 or 4. It sounds like the Jets, we know the Jets like Mekhi Becton if he's healthy. It sounds like they like Fant as well. Doesn't mean they're locked into him, but they're working on an extension. If Evan Neal's sitting here, then the Giants go Neal, pair him with Andrew Thomas. And the Panthers go Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty, who really helped his stock this last week with Senior Bowl practices in the game. We know he has the mobility, the athleticism, the running ability, down the field breaking tackles, making people miss. And we know he has a strong arm, showcases how strong that arm is at the Senior Bowl. And he's pretty consistent throughout practices too, in terms of an accurate passer. So Panthers, I keep categorizing them as kind of a go big or go draft team in terms of the quarterback position. So during this offseason, they will try to get, maybe they'll try to get Rodgers. I really don't think they'll get Rodgers. Same thing with Russell Wilson. They'll try. Don't think they get him. I think Deshaun Watson's pretty realistic. If they miss out on those guys, then they're probably not going to mess around with the mediocre guy that's proven to be mediocre from that's already in the league. So they may go draft here. So Malik Willis and his athletic ability may, impress with the Panthers, the Panthers staff there. So I had him going to the Panthers at 6. Maybe work on building that offense line free agency. Giants going to Nkobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. Let's see who they hire as defense coordinator. They missed out on Patrick Graham. Really like Don Martindale for them. I know they're interested as well. So if they do get him, this could very realistically be the pick, Nkobe Dean, because he's a blitzing inside linebacker that really fits that scheme. Either way, They might need an off-ball linebacker anyways. They have Blake Martinez, who's very solid, but they negative cap space. They're looking to free some cap space. Could they move on from him? He was hurt last year. Will he fit the new scheme? Patrick Graham gone. So I think Dean could be what they're looking for there. So that would be the pick at 7. Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher from Florida State, really helped himself at Senior Bowl. Going into the Senior Bowl, we get there, and people are talking about he's probably the best player there anyways. Maybe the media was a little too low on him, according to scouts, and then he really shows that he's the best player there and a legit pass rusher. Does he get in the conversation with Hutchison and Thibodeaux? And then you got the Falcons, who badly need a pass rusher, least amount of sacks in football, so that can really elevate their defense there. So get a guy like Jermaine Johnson in there. Again, that can really improve their defense. So Jermaine Johnson really flying up the board here. Like his, he's got the athletic ability. He's got the bull rush, the nasty bull rush. He's got some moves too. So and only getting better. So interesting prospect that's finding his way up the boards here. Next group of picks, the Broncos go Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pittsburgh. Maybe one of the safer quarterbacks. Some teams worried about his, the gloves and his hand size, but very accurate quarterback, can get outside the pocket, throw on the run. The Broncos will be in on, guys like Aaron Rodgers. Will they be able to land those guys, though? It may be a situation where it's go big or go draft for them as well, kind of like the Panthers. Maybe they bring back a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, but, they're not sold on him. Maybe it's a one-year deal, and they draft a guy to kind of Teddy two gloves, Pickett with the gloves as well, maybe to take his spot in the near future or right away. Ahmad Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati, to the Jets. They definitely need some cornerback help. Ahmad Gardner had a heck of a year. Long corner, athletic, good in press. Fantastic game against Alabama in the playoff game. So it sounds like he should be the first cornerback off the board. Big upgrade for the Jets. I keep mocking Sam Howell to Washington. I'm gonna continue to do it for now. Not guaranteeing it's the pick, but I really like the fit there. Definitely what they need. They need more of a downfield passer there. The strong arm from Howell. He also has some sneaky athletic ability. Can break sacks, break tackles downfield. That's fantastic. Good Senior Bowl. He did put the ball on the ground twice. Got strip sacked twice. That's the bad. The good is he kind of answered some questions. Can he scan the field? Can he be more than a kind of a one-read guy? And I kind of thought so, but he did show that Senior Bowl. He had some good pocket awareness as well. So maybe helped himself, a little bit, and that could be Washington's guy going forward, which Washington, a pretty good roster, I think, kind of just looking for that quarterback. Another team that could look to get that big-time veteran, through a trade in the offseason, but are they going to be able to get the job done? Vikings go Zion Johnson, offensive lineman from Boston College. Vikings offensive line is actually coming together. A good young group. Maybe we could just use one more piece in there, and that'll be on the interior. And I like him at guard, but he showed at Senior Bowl the ability to play center. So that's kind of good, too. I think you start him at guard opposite of Ezra Cleveland, and then he could fill in at center if you need him to. Garrett Bradbury's not really working out. So Johnson really helped the stock at the Senior Bowl. It should be the first guard taken in this draft. So the Vikings kind of fill that, kind of complete the offensive line, and that's looking pretty good because it's taken some time to do it, but pretty decent young group that they're kind of building here. So one more piece is really what it feels like they need. And then when teams have done that in the past, all of a sudden they kind of gone from worst to first area with the offensive line, so that'd be ideal. Browns go Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. Good shot that he's the first receiver taken. The Browns definitely need a receiver. Jarvis Landry, we talked about, a cut candidate because he's been a little underwhelming. They can save over $15 million. With or without Jarvis Landry, they still need a receiver. Trevor Penning, huge stock boost after the Senior Bowl. Very nasty blocker in those one-on-ones, and definitely fits that physical profile that the Ravens look for in their offensive linemen with their power blocking scheme. And they on paper they got some pretty good offensive linemen, pretty good tackles. They're just really beat up at the position. Is it going to be Ronnie Stanley and Jawan James, two guys that have gotten injured the last few years? Pretty good on paper. Can they stay healthy? I think Penning, high upside here. Very, very good outing at Senior Bowl and a good fit for the Ravens. I think they'll like him. They're the kid from Northern Iowa. Eagles got back-to-back picks. Devin Lloyd, fantastic high motor linebacker, just as good stopping and running as he is in coverage. as he is rangy, sideline to sideline. Eagles definitely need another linebacker in there. I think they'll like Devin, Lloyd. Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback from LSU, who after we saw him play as a freshman, we're like, this guy's a sure thing, top-tier pick, next elite NFL corner. And that's kind of, it hasn't really disappeared, but it's kind of, he hasn't played as well since, and he's missed some times as well. It's some time as well with injuries. I don't think talent really disappears. So I think maybe it got to his head a little bit. Like, I'm a future top pick, and I'm gonna, I got to save myself for this NFL career of mine, and maybe that's kind of what happened. I think he kind of get back to playing to where he was playing. So somebody, if he starts to fall a little bit, like people are talking about, it could be a steal there. So Eagles pair him with Darius Slay. Looks pretty damn good for Philly and their secondary. Next, Chargers take Jordan Davis. Really good fit there. They're looking for a defensive tackle, guy that can play nose tackle or defensive tackle. Definitely will help stop the run, which is what the Chargers need to do here. So the stud from Georgia lands there. Could possibly go earlier. It's just kind of the debate on how early do you take a guy like this, and the question is, because usually these big nose tackle type guys are only on the field on early downs, and people don't really value him, but it's very good at creating that interior pressure, just a different type of interior defensive lineman there. So I think a pretty valuable one. This might be the latest he goes. Saints go Matt Corral. I think you kind of looking through the Saints roster. Well, let's see what they do, I guess, because they got to clear some space. But I still think it's a pretty good roster overall. I think you need some important things, or you need a quarterback, receiver, depending on what happens to Teron Armstead. They maybe need a left tackle, but they don't need too much. I really would like for them to grab one of these quarterbacks. And this quarterback class is known as weak, but I think that if they go to the right team, they can be a lot better than what people kind of give them credit for. I think the Saints could be that team. I know Sean Payton's gone, but I think that could be that team. So I like Matt Corral, who we didn't get to see in the Senior Bowl, obviously, because he was a junior and he was injured anyways. But, yeah, I guess the concern with him is, can he stay healthy, because he's kind of a thin frame, kind of runs into contact a lot. We're going to stop with that. And he is a pass-first guy. We want to stop with him scrambling into contact. He's a pretty good scrambler, but just to keep him healthy there, and you do want to keep him protected. So I think a team with a good offensive line, and he can escape pressure, but again, having that thin frame and having the injuries, you want to keep him protected as best as possible. But I would like to fit with the Saints there. And we'll see when they end up hiring his coach, but I do like the fit. I still think Sean Payton's going to be gone, but I still think it's going to be that type of team. They're going to keep the same play. You would think it keeps the same playbook or style of play. Eagles go Jameson Williams. He could be the top receiver in the class if he didn't tear the ACL. National championship game, he still might be. He's got everything you're looking for in today's game. So the Eagles grab a receiver. They pair those Bama guys together. Steelers go Tyler Linderbaum, interior offense line from Iowa. He's a center, but also can play guard. Get the versatility there. Could go earlier if teams are very confident about him playing guard. Steelers do need to focus on the offensive line. A lot of talk about them going quarterback. A lot of talk about them trading up. Wouldn't really be a fan of the Steelers trading up too far because they need offensive linemen, multiple. They need corners, may need linebackers, may need to start looking for that Stephon Tuitt replacement because he's has an injury concern. So they have some needs actually for a pretty good team. Patriots go Drake London, receiver from USC. So they wanted that big body guy with N'Keal Harry, but N'Keal Harry was kind of a one-trick pony there, was kind of a contested catch guy, which we didn't see a whole bunch even of that so far. But so you get the bigger body guy in Drake London that can do everything, though. More of a safer pick for the big body guys, can play. Could line up in a slot if you need him to, but, could play that underneath game. And then the Raiders go Perrion Winfrey, who he was the MVP of the Senior Bowl, so he was a standout in the game, but in a week of practice as well. It looked like an absolute stud. The Raiders, big-time addition as their defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. That's huge. I think he's a fantastic defensive mind. They opened up a pretty big need, though, across the defensive line. They're probably switching to a 3-4 scheme, so they have a three-man front defensive line. They have huge needs up there. To fit Patrick Graham's scheme, and their guys that they had are all free. It feels like free agents as it is, and that was the strength of Patrick Graham's defense, was the Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. So they need to find those guys. I think Perrion Winfrey is a great fit, big time addition there. I think you can move him around between 3-4 end and 3-4 defensive tackle. Probably start at the defensive tackle spot, but I think you move around a bit there. That's what I like. So I really like that fit. That's a massive need for the Raiders, but if they get that. They're gonna have an upgraded defense there. Cardinals go David Ajabo, edge rusher from Michigan. Yeah, I keep talking about it. This guy can go a lot earlier because he's upside. He's a very good pass rusher and has the traits, the moves, the athleticism. Not too involved in the run game. Going to have to work on that. So for that reason, he could drop a little bit here. But I do like the fit with the Cardinals. Chandler Jones, a free agent. He was unhappy that he wasn't getting an extension, so maybe he doesn't get that. A renewed contract with the Cardinals here as he hits free agency. Cowboys go George Karlaftis, the edge rusher from Purdue. I think a pretty good fit. Fits the 4-3 defensive end there. And they have DeMarcus Lawrence, and they have Micah Parsons. Remember, Micah Parsons actually played more off-ball linebacker than edge rusher, but he plays both. And then Randy Gregory is a free agent, and they're in a pretty bad cap space situation. So could be the Randy Gregory replacement here in George Karlaftis here from Purdue. Next group of teams, Bills go Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle from Georgia. Yeah, they got a couple free agents on the interior defensive line. I think Wyatt's a pretty good guy to pair Ed Oliver because Wyatt can play nose if you need him to. He can play defensive tackle, help stop the run and getting after the quarterback interior pressure. So I think it's a really good fit. Desmond Ridder helped himself at the Senior Bowl. I like the fit with the Titans. Maybe like a Ryan Tannehill type with more upside. The upside is going to be tricky to get, though, because it's going to rely on one thing. Is he a one-read quarterback? At Cincinnati for 4 years, he was. But the kind of question was, is it him or was it the offensive system they played at Cincinnati? And since it was for all 4 years, you sort of think it's him because you think Cincinnati would try to get outside that to be a better team. And they're a pretty good team, but to be even better, to be able to beat Alabama, we got to be more than one read. So you start to think it's him. He gets to the Senior Bowl, though, and he's actually showing some ability to scan the field a little bit. Looked real good in the play action, which Titans run, kind of getting the bootleg outside, and he has the athletic ability. Seems like a Ryan Tannehill type with more upside, so they could look to get him, learn from Tannehill for a year or two, and then be the guy because Titans got a pretty good roster. Just kind of looking for that quarterback. Hard to do with the tight cap space situation in the offseason. Tough to do with the 26th pick, but they could go Ridder here at 26. Treylon Burks drops a little bit here. Receiver from Arkansas. He's a guy that can go a lot earlier as well. But yeah, some of these bigger body receivers don't really work out. I like that he has the play he has good play in general, but from the slot as well. Didn't really run a complete route tree though, and that's a little bit of a concern. But very talented dude. Buccaneers would jump all over this. Need another receiver there. We'll see if they get Godwin back. He's going to be a free agent, but Antonio Brown not there either. Charles Cross ended up dropping a little bit in this scenario. I think guys like Trevor Penning kind of getting pushed up. Cross kind of drops down a little bit. It's a guy that can go in the top 10 or so. End up dropping in this scenario, which I also think is realistic. Packers had some injuries across the offensive line last year. Didn't really, even when healthy, didn't really feel the same. So they're going to look to kind of recoup some solid offense on. I think the Packers would love to have a guy like Cross. The Dolphins, Christian Harris, linebacker from Alabama, who I like a lot. Kind of like a hybrid linebacker, utility linebacker. Then he can play inside. He can blitz from the inside. You can put him off the edge. He can rush out there. He can cover, too. We see him cover guys in the slot. I really like his upside getting after the quarterback. I kind of like what the Cowboys were doing with Micah Parsons, how they were using him. I think, he's not going to be Micah Parsons, but I think similar ways. The Dolphins, they just hired Mike McDaniel, offensive coach, obviously. They're looking to either keep some defensive guys, or I heard Vic Fangio. Basically, they want to keep somewhat of a similar defense. They want to blitz a lot. I think Flores was kind of that safety blitz guy. I think they kind of want more blitzing out of the linebacker position and kind of get that guy that can do that. That kind of makes sense to me. So I really like the fit there with Christian Harris to the Dolphins. Chiefs go Trent McDuffie, smaller, scrappy corner from Washington. Maybe too good to pass at this point. The Chiefs actually could use a few different things, and they'll attack some of that in free agency. But they add McDuffie. The Bengals go Kenyon Green, offensive line from Texas A&M. I like him at guard. He does have experience at tackle, but I definitely like him at guard. Another guy that can go earlier in this. The Bengals would be all over this if he drops it. I'm going to be all over that, so that'd be a great pick. Lions definitely need a receiver. They go Chris Olave, receiver from Ohio State. I think a pretty safe pick. I think it's a guy that you're not going to get maybe that wow, elite play from. I think you're kind of going to get consistent production from Chris Olave, which in the Lions will like. Pair him with Amon-Ra St. Brown there. So now we move on to the second round. The Jaguars need a receiver real bad. Big problem was separation. The receivers weren't really getting much separation. We got the speedster Jahan Dodson from Penn State. who also underrated at going up and attacking the ball too. I like that. So the Jags grab their receiver here. Lions, we heard Dan Campbell talk about the Senior Bowl. We need a receiver. We got that for them. We need a linebacker. He mentioned. I think they got some good young linebackers, but they could use another one. Quay Walker from Georgia could be a solid addition here. A lot of Georgia guys coming off the board. The Jets, again, they might think they're set at tackle. You get a guy, Darian Kennard here from Kentucky, and this guy could play tackle, but there's some upside, I think, at guard. I think they play him at guard opposite Elijah Vera Tucker, similar to what they did there, and they're kind of completing that offensive line there. So they maybe look to add. Then they got 2 second-round picks, too. They got loads of picks. It's going to be, if you're a Jets fan, it's going to be a fun offseason. A lot of cap space, too. Boye Mafe to the Giants, the edge rusher from Minnesota, really had a good showing at the Senior Bowl. I guess the tricky part, is he going to fit more of a 4-3 end or 3-4 outside linebacker? We don't know what the Giants are going to run yet because we're looking for who they're going to hire defensive coordinator, but they definitely need an edge rusher. Good thing is I think Mafe fits both schemes. Very talented pass rusher, good athleticism, combination of athleticism and strength there. So the Giants get their pass rusher. Texans, kind of a debate with myself, toss up in the first round. Do I give them kind of a defensive end in Thibodeaux, or do I give them that rare safety Hamilton? One with Hamilton. I could change my mind on that at any given time. Both realistic scenarios. So I give them the defensive lineman who will play defensive end. It sounds like, again, it'll be Lovie Smith. It's a Lovie Smith type of defensive end. I think if Trayvon Walker goes to a 3-4 team, I think he plays 3-4 end. But I like him as a Lovie Smith defensive end here. So they get the Georgia pass rusher that very well can go in the first round. George Pickens to the Jets. So the Jets got a future there with Elijah Molden, Elijah Moore, mixing up the rookies from last year. One's a defensive back, one's a receiver. Elijah Moore, who I love. This guy's going to be a stud. They want to play him mainly in the slot. Big play ability in there. Get that outside receiver, maybe a guy that you wanted Denzel Mims to be. George Pickens from Georgia, who doesn't get talked about enough because he tore his ACL in that spring game and missed most of the year. Came back when he wasn't expected to come back and looked real good. He gets that separation, but he's a very good at getting those contested catches as well. I like George Pickens. I like him for the Jets to pair with Elijah Moore for sure. So I like this Jets draft. Bears, their first pick. They traded up for Justin Fields last year, so they have a first-round pick. They need that tackle to pair with Tevin Jenkins to pair with Justin Fields. Bernard Raymond, who possibly go in the first round. So this was a guy that was tight end, turned offensive tackle. So he has the athleticism, put on that power, that strength, size. So teams will like that a lot. Seems to be the type of tackles that are working out. So pretty good guy to pair with Tevin Jenkins for the future. So the Bears with their first pick of the 2022 NFL Draft go that route. And the Broncos get their pass rusher, Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State, who was at the Senior Bowl, looked pretty good in the one-on-ones there, pretty athletic pass rusher. Penn State pass rushers kind of taking over there. So pair him with Bradley Chubb, and then you got yourself a pass rush duo there for the Broncos. Broncos got another pick in the second round we'll get to, too. Seahawks, their first pick of the draft, and they go Roger McCreary, another guy that could be a first-round pick just because of his tape and his play, his ability in man coverage. Some of the worry is he's doesn't have the length. The arm length is very underwhelming, which, I'm more of a if you could play guy. McCreary can play, but scouts, coaches take that seriously when it comes to the corners. You want that length, so maybe he drops a little bit. The Seahawks will like this guy a lot. His ability to play different coverages, but already polished in man coverage. Washington, Daxton Hill, the safety from Michigan, pair him with Cameron Curl. Maybe they move on from Landon Collins, who's more of that linebacker type, obviously. So, get that versatile safety. Again, who probably take Landon Collins' spot, but not really because Collins kind of maybe played linebacker more. But the Falcons, Daniel Falele, offensive line Minnesota. He's kind of a stock dropper here because he kind of got caught off balance a lot in the Senior Bowl. But man, oh man, the offensive line at this point of the draft, offensive line class, it really drops off. I know some guys will probably have good combines, pro days, maybe we'll enter the conversation, but it really drops off. The Falcons are pretty desperate for a guy here, a guy that played tackle, but maybe more of an interior guy, teams are thinking. Had him working there in the Senior Bowl, so we'll see. The Falcons definitely need some more help on the offensive line. But this is a guy that stock could drop a little bit, but There is a shortage at this point of the draft, I'm noticing, but a long process to go. I'm sure we'll have some more risers, but there's a shortage on all the ones that already went. They're great. There's some really good ones at the top. There's a big cutoff there. Travis Jones, I like a lot. He could very well go in the first round after a Senior Bowl outing. Explosive, powerful defensive tackle. The Browns would love to have that in the inside Myles Garrett. I think you can line up at D tackle or nose. That's fantastic, but an excellent outing at the Senior Bowl there. Ravens, I really like this pick. I like the Marvin Leal as a Calais Campbell replacement, 3-4 end. I think if Leal goes to a 3-4 team like the Ravens, if they can, I know Martindale's gone. I think they'll continue to run 3-4. It's just going to be a different. It's going to be run a little differently there, maybe less blitzing, less man coverage perhaps. But if Leal goes to 3-4, I like 3-4 end. If he goes to a 4-3, I like 4-3 end. So a defensive end either way there. But I really, really like him as a Calais Campbell replacement here. So I really like that fit in a potential first-round pick. Kind of getting forgot about a little bit. Vikings need a corner. Patrick Peterson, free agent. They need one anyways, even if Patrick Peterson's there. Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback from Clemson. You see a mixture throughout his tape. Looks like a lockdown corner, then looks like a big-time playmaking corner. So, and the Vikings will like that. And another guy, again, at this point, you look at these corners going. You look at a guy like Travis Jones, Marvin Leal. It's starting to look like a pretty good draft class because those guys could rightfully go in the first round. And we got him here early second. And that happens every year. Every single year, we're on a day 2, and it's like, are these guys still here? And this team got a steal. And usually, though, it ends up being true. Those guys end up being good, and we say, that's why the second round's so good. So we got some guys sneaking down here. And then, so Booth Jr., the Vikings, they fill that need at corner. Colts, their first pick of the 2022 draft, David Bell, receiver from Purdue. I thought about Carson Strong here because I had Carson Strong slipping a little bit. Just maybe it reminded me a little bit too much of Jacob Eason, which didn't work out for the Colts. And at that point, it's kind of go big or go home. The Colts probably just rather roll with Carson Wentz. Makes sense. They need a receiver. A lot of free agents, and they need one anyways. Michael Pittman's carrying too much. David Bell is, I think, he's kind of a do-it-all guy. He's good at attacking the ball, very good in the red zone, but he kind of gets you underneath things as well, and that's kind of what they got out of Pittman. So they're kind of interchangeable there. They kind of got their versatile receivers there. So I like David Bell from Purdue for the Colts there. Chargers go Myjai Sanders. I was thinking about linebacker. I was thinking about receiver because those are pretty big needs. Some guys really coming off the board here. Didn't love the fits. So I also think they can use an edge rusher, though. Maybe it's not next on the need list, but it's up there. And that's because Nwosu is a free agent. They're playing Bosa a little bit as a 3-4 end. They kind of want to use them both. So they could use a pass rusher on the outside. I like Myjai Sanders for them. Another guy that could probably sneak in the end of the first round. Athletic pass rusher. So I do like that fit there for the Chargers at 48. Next group of guys, Saints, they get their quarterback in the first. Need another receiver. Get that that utility type receiver. Could he be used maybe not as strong, but maybe not as physical, but maybe like a Deebo Samuel, Wan'Dale Robinson, kind of a do-it-all receiver, very electrifying receiver. So the Saints kind of can use that to pair up Michael Thomas. And then Marquez Callaway, who's kind of a downfield guy. So it's kind of the guy that they're missing here. So Wan'Dale Robinson, they got Corral in the first, Robinson, so they're really elevating this offense. Dolphins could use a running back. They hired Mike McDaniel. They want that physical running back too because they want to upgrade that run game. It's going to be they want to run it like the 49ers did. So Isaiah Spiller from A&M kind of fits that profile there. So they grab him in the second round. Eagles, another pick for the Eagles. Kingsley and Nagbare, the edge rusher of South Carolina. Very athletic, has the traits you're looking for, explosive off the ball. Another guy that maybe could sneak in the first. So Eagles grab that pass rusher there. Maybe to pair with Sweat for the future. Steelers go Darion Kendrick, corner from Georgia. Steelers, Mike Tomlin, kind of known for running man coverage. They kind of had to go away from it this year because they didn't really have the personnel. Get a man coverage corner here in Darion Kendrick. There you go. You can run a bit more of it there. So pretty solid pick for the Steelers. That's a Mike Tomlin type of guy right there. Kaiir Elam, the upside corner. Upside corner is so lengthy, physical, big body corner. Some pretty good play on tape. A little inconsistent, but the Raiders looking for a corner so they can grab that Florida guy there. A lot of the corners coming off the board now. Kyler Gordon, cornerback from Washington. Seems like a Patriots corner to me. A good mixture of being a lockdown sometimes and a playmaker other times. And then they have J.C. Jackson as a free agent. I think they'll get him back, but Jalen Mills not going to be there forever. They need another corner there for sure. Cardinals go Fedarian Mathis, defensive tackle from Alabama. J.J. Watt needs some help on the defensive line, stopping the run here, so that's why they grab Mathis. Cowboys, Jaquan Brisker, safety for Penn State, versatile safety, and that they would like. They like those versatile types. And they got some good safeties, actually, but it seems like they're all free agents besides Wilson. So they potentially, and they're tight on cap, negative cap, actually, so they potentially could use another one there. And they grab Brisker at 56. Next group of picks, Bills could use another corner opposite Tre'Davious White. Kobe Bryant, the cornerback from Cincinnati. Pretty good season with that. Big reason why Cincinnati's defense is so good. They had NFL cornerbacks. Ahmad Garner, we saw him go early first, and Kobe Bryant here in a second. And they had a good showing in the national or in the semifinal game against Alabama. Falcons go Kenneth Walker. I was thinking, do they go running back? Do they stick with Cordero Patterson, Mike Davis? I feel like they'll re-sign Cordero Patterson, but they like those bruiser, interior runner type backs, and that's Kenneth Walker right there. So they grab him. They kind of fits their game a little bit. Packers go Logan Hall, defensive lineman from Houston. Very good outing at a Senior Bowl. Very good tape. Just trying to figure out where he fits because he's kind of an undersized interior guy. I like him as a 3-4 end. And that's what the Packers could use to pair just outside of to put right outside Kenny Clark there, who plays kind of in the interior. So I think a good fit, 3-4 for the Green Bay Packers. Carson Strong ends up dropping quite a bit. Not the best outing in the Senior Bowl. Has the arm talent, but it gets a little wild with his throws. He doesn't have that play outside the pocket. Doesn't have the athleticism. Has some knee issues as well. So he drops a bit, but still has incredible arm talent. The Bucs, I think they would be good with the pocket passer type, so they pull the trigger here. 49ers, their first pick of the 2022 draft. They could definitely use a corner. Looks like they got one in the future with Amory Thomas. Jermaine Waller I like a lot. Not talked about really at all. It's a lengthy corner that could read the quarterback and make a play on the ball. I like that a lot, kind of having the combination of those things. So Virginia Tech corner goes here at 61. Kyron Williams, the running back from Notre Dame. I like for the Chiefs. You look at the Chiefs running backs, what they're trying to get out of their running backs, you kind of put them together, what Edwards-Helaire has. And I think Edwards-Helaire is very talented. Just hasn't really been able to stay healthy. But kind of what he has, what a guy like Jerick McKinnon has, and then Darrell Williams is a free agent. They don't have all three of those guys, they don't have a whole bunch of strengths, but they all have kind of something different. And I think if you combine those things together, I actually think you get a guy like Kyron Williams. He's a very good runner, pretty damn physical for a somewhat smaller guy. The stiff arm is nasty. He can run outside, inside. He used to play receiver in high school, so he can catch the ball, maybe more like the Jerick McKinnon. And can this kid block, pass protect? Maybe the best in the class. That's why a guy like Kyron Williams could end up being the first running back taken. He has the better chance. Even though I have him going third here, it's because of fit. The Falcons want the physical guy. The Dolphins want the physical guy. But if there was a running back that can sneak in the first round, I'd say Kyron Williams because all those things that he has to his game, and he's probably the best pass-protecting running back. So I think the Chiefs would like this. Darrell Williams, a free agent. Let's say Waller. Darrell Williams, a free agent. All the other guys going to stick. This is their type of running back here, I think. Bengals go Jalen Weidermeyer here from A&M, big body receiving type tight end that can block as well. They have CJ Uzomah, who was very solid for them this year. Free agent. I like to think they can get him back, but I think having another option can be pretty good for them, obviously, because they're just having another option in there. Not a whole lot of needs for the Bengals. They got their offense line in the first, so they go this route. The Broncos, with another pick, we had them getting quarterback, we had them getting edge rusher. All their off-ball linebackers are free agents. Sure, they try to get some back here, but there's a linebacker for right now they have a need there. Channing Tindall, yet another Georgia guy. Lengthy linebacker that's pretty good at breaking on the ball and coverage. So he sneaks after a pretty good Senior Bowl, sneaks in here in the second round. So very talented group here. Good to see the running backs start to come off the board. Breece Hall is another one that could definitely sneak in here in the second round. Start to see. I get an idea on who the guys are going to second round, but you start to see that the talented guys that are kind of like, are they end of the first? Are they second round as well? But a lot of stock up from the Senior Bowl, like we have every year, happens every single year, and those guys end up seeming to play well at the next level as well. We got the Combine coming up, and that'll change some things as well. We have you covered for all that. Super Bowls this week. We have you covered for that as well. Free agency, trades, anything you can think of. We got you covered. So join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our Patreon. There's links down below for that. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.